What's your thoughts on it with Jokic in there, second rounder? Taco Bell commercial, baby.
You mean the best player in the NBA right now? I know he got knocked out, but he's still the best.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through this, man. Like I'm gonna name some names off here,
Hmm.
and like just think there's a couple guys. There's one guy really that if you want to say you've drafted him over Jokic, I'm fine with. I get it,
Hmm.
but there's only one in this list that when I was looking through. So so Wiggins went above Jokic. We were just talking about
Hmm.
hype doesn't always translate. Like Wiggins was so hyped coming
He
into the
was.
NBA. So Jokic is better than Wiggins. He's better
Yeah.
than Aaron Gordon, his teammate. Marcus Smart was drafted in this class.
Hmm.
Doug McDermott was drafted in this class
Mm.
ahead of him. These are all names ahead of him. Jabari Parker. That could you imagine if Giannis and Jokic had been on the same team? They had the opportunity
Imagine.
right there to take
Imagine.
Jokic, put them two together. You want to talk about like the '90s with like the two towers in Houston? Oh my goodness! You have one guy. You have Jokic pass the ball around, and then you give it like he could just throw it up all the time to Giannis.
That'd be wild.
Now here's the guy that I'm going to say that was drafted above him that I think okay, if you want to make the argument, that's fine. Embiid,
Yeah.
Spencer Dinwiddie,
Dinwiddie.
yeah, Dinwiddie, my bad.
Yeah.
Zach Levine,
Yeah.
Julius Randle,
Oh, okay.
all those guys were drafted ahead of Jokic.
Mm. Golly, man, there's some of these names I haven't heard in a hot minute. I mean, Shabazz Napier,
Yep.
Rodney Hood, Tyler Ennis. I mean, wow, these guys all taken before Jokic. Some of these guys had great potential. I mean, Jeremy Grant, KJ McDaniels. Wow. Jordan Clarkson was taken after Jokic, but yeah, this class had some guys that had some pretty good potential, but never really lived up to the expectations they had. But the biggest names, of course, in this draft class, in my opinion, like you mentioned, was Joel Embiid, um, Aaron Gordon, Julius Randle, Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year, former Defensive Player of the Year, Nikola Jokic, of course, taken later. All those guys before him, but that's pretty wild.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy. I was like, man, and I found out Jokic was asleep, and his brother called him, told him he was drafted, and he's like, okay, we'll talk about it in the morning. And he like hung up, and went to sleep, and then he got the call and everything in the morning.
9 to 5 for him. He was too busy with them horses.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
But one guy that the Celtics drafted, I was pretty high on out of Kentucky that never panned out was James Young. Never panned out, unfortunately. But yeah. Also, Zach Levine drafted in this
Oh
class.
yeah, Zach Levine, dunk champion. Not
Yeah,
always should have gotten it,
put some
but
respect on his name, people.
he is a good player. He has elevated his game every season. Every
Yeah.
stat has went up as he's played.
Hmm. Dude, one last player I'm going to talk about before we move on is Nick Stauskas from Michigan, man. He was such a sniper in college, and even in the pros, he had some games where he went off. Kind of underrated player, but he was never like a top 10 worthy player that he got drafted. He got selected 8 overall, never lived up to the hype, but he was a great shooter.
I'll say I didn't even know him. I'm gonna be real. I didn't even know him.
Man, but that's our thoughts on the 2014 NBA draft class, everybody. Let us know down below who stood out to you the most.